There is a specific kind of misery that happens when you finally get the thing you spent years working toward, and you realize it didn't fix what you thought it would. This is a story about 20 days of that in Portugal. Day 11. I'm in a co-working space in Peniche, working remotely. My surfboard is in a rental car outside. The wetsuit is drying from my morning surf. By every measurable definition, I'm exactly where I said I wanted to be. So why do I feel this bad?
And I've been stuck for a while now, 'cause I've been saying this for 3 damn years. Am I ever gonna change? Will I make it out alive or...
Let me rewind and tell you exactly how I got there, after spending 10 years to become a doctor. I never really knew why I wanted to become a doctor in the first place. But the thing that I did know back then, well, when I made that choice, was that it was completely optionless for me. And because of that, for the longest time, I didn't question that choice. Then I started surfing. And surfing has this property where it doesn't fit around the rest of your life. Your life has to fit around it. The swell shows up when it shows up. You either go or you don't. Doctors don't get to go. They don't get loads of vacation. They don't get to be spontaneous when conditions line up. And they sure as hell don't get to work remotely. And at some point, I started realizing that I was building my life around a job that more often than not would keep me from doing one of the things I cared about most. So I left. If only it would have been that easy, huh? Well, life rarely is. In 2017, I lost one of my best friends to sudden heart failure, and that basically turned my life completely upside down. But ultimately left me with the courage to leave medicine behind and go chase a job that would let me go surfing. So I took a job in online marketing, but I had the one thing I cared about most. I could open up the laptop from anywhere and go surfing. So at least on paper, I had one. So I booked 20 days in Portugal. Surfboard, rental car, hostel, co-working down the road, overlooking one of the point breaks. The exact life I had quit medicine to build. And now I'm going to tell you what it actually felt like. Surf trips are mostly rituals. The wetsuit going on, the wetsuit coming off. The washing, the drying, the packing it back into the car the next morning to do the whole thing all over again. These are supposed to be the parts that you love. The mundane stuff that means you're surfing, living the life, living the search. But this time, I wasn't loving them. The swell was bad. Not bad like a tough day bad, but like the entire 20 days, it never actually sparked. Here's the thing, that wasn't the problem. Bad waves are part of surfing. Every surfer watching this knows that. The problem was that I'd built my entire life around being able to do this. And the doing of it wasn't fixing anything. Early on in the trip, I tried to convince myself so bad that I was exactly where I wanted to be. This is me during that trip. Look at the words I say and the disconnect of the emotions on my face. I can go surfing before the work, I can go surfing after work, really just see that I get my work done, but I'm so close to the beach and I can truly I would get up before everybody else in the hostel and go surf in the morning. Then I would come here to a co-working space and try to do work I didn't believe in. And then I would surf again in the evening. And somewhere in the middle of those days I noticed something I hadn't expected. The meaningless work was somehow making surfing meaningless as well. By the second week, it had been raining for days. There was almost nothing to surf, and the co-working had stopped making sense. Because if I'm not surfing, why am I even here? There's this roundabout that I drove through almost every night that trip. And there's a thing your brain does when you're driving alone in the dark and you're not okay. Every exit starts to feel like a metaphor. Go back to medicine, stay in marketing, quit again, try something else, or just keep going around the roundabout. None of them felt right. And yes, it does get a little bit lonely from time to time, but I guess that's just what you need. I didn't know it that night, but I wasn't feeling lonely because I was alone. I was feeling lonely because I was starting to feel that something was off, that something was very different from what I had planned. It took me years to understand what was wrong on that trip. The story I had been telling myself was that medicine was the wrong life for me and surfing was the right life. So as long as I could do less medicine and more surfing, I should be doing great. Here's what I had right. I needed a life that allowed for surfing, the vacation, the spontaneity, the remote work. I wasn't going to find that in a hospital. Here's what I had massively wrong. I thought the actual work didn't have to matter. Doing a full year of work, I almost didn't care about it all. And I couldn't even be happy while I was in Portugal surfing. Proved that idea so wrong. Eventually, I left marketing too, and I went into health tech, med tech in a sales job, which might feel like a step back towards medicine, towards the life I had quit. But it wasn't. MedTech and sales kept some of the parts I cared about, like the remote work, the spontaneity, but it also gave me back meaning in the work I was doing and actually rekindled my passion for medicine and the healthcare system. It's a version of work that I couldn't see existed when I was 20-something, and the choice between medicine or no medicine felt quite black and white. So if you're standing where I was standing, hating your work or the circumstances of your work, loving the surfing, and thinking to rearrange your life completely around the ability to go surfing, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I am going to tell you that the trade I made, the choice I made initially, wasn't enough. And I had to go to Portugal for 20 days, being absolutely miserable to find that out.